All right, I'm back. All right, so hey, what's up, dog? My dog is here. All right, so I want to say something about. I'm shooting back for some of this, for all of these. All right, I'm gonna say something about all these real quick. So for this SWAT competition, I was there early every day. And I was there early enough to talk to people to see if anything had changed. I was on text conversations with people involved. I wasn't just showing up as a photographer. I might as well have been part of it. Um, while not operationally part of it, I had the know-how of the entire schedule of the day. I was involved in every bit. I was there for planning. And so I knew, in some cases, I was a mediator between these groups, between like these people in the community. Now that's my job, public affairs. But you know, you gotta put that your good legs in front of you. Use your Chevrolet legs and get in there. You're not only getting in there physically, you are embedding yourself in the situation. You are part of planning. You need to be. You got to be at the table. Otherwise, you would never catch this stuff. Like for this, I got there before the National Guard troops had even woken up. Shit like that, you got to be on it. Uh, for this, I knew that a sergeant major was going to be somewhere for a PT session, and I followed him with my camera. I ran with them as I ran to this location, which was, they sled pushed, and I'm lucky they didn't turn around and make me push the sled with a bunch of weight on it. For this, I had to talk with the sergeant major. I had to be like, look, it usually is not permitted that anyone else is in here, but I let them know that they'd be safe with me. That I wasn't going to spill the beans. I was just going to take a picture. I'd be out of the way. I wouldn't compromise the experience that these two were getting in this room. I wasn't going to talk. I wasn't stopping anything. I was just there to take pictures. And that, good pictures would result. And that was what they wanted. Uh, for the picture of Sergeant Boucher, you want to let people know that you are taking a picture of them. You don't want to just snap one that's kind of impolite. I did that a lot, but you really want to get people's consent. Now, in the Army, there's not really that issue. In certain situations it is, but if they're doing their job, you just take a picture and they can go, oh man. And then you could be like, is it okay? And they'll usually be like, yeah. But realistically, you'll be like, hey, I'm going to take some pictures. Is that cool? And they'll tell you yes or no. If they're like, no, because there might be something social going on. They don't want their picture on Facebook or on the news. They just don't. These are soldiers with lives. And so you have to respect that, especially because you're going to be with them for the next coming years. You'll be taking pictures of them. And if they go back and tell their unit that you're a little asshole and, you don't listen to them, they'll fuck with you. But when everyone found out I was an infantryman and they knew that I rolled like that and I had your respect of privacy and I had an operational know-how, tactical know-how, and I can actually go up to the soldiers that they are mentoring, say they're over somewhere, and I'm not with them, and I want somebody dicking off, I could go and say, like, hey, you might not want to be doing that, man. I kind of would play both sides of the field and be like, look, the OCTs out here are serious. And so I would try to gain rapport with everyone, and not in a dishonest way. I would be, with everyone's interests in mind in every facet. I got the chills. So anyway, for each of these, like this photo had like 10 or 20 minutes setup. I'm setting up lights. Now it's just a picture of me, so I didn't care that this side of me was unlit. But God, look at how much of a baby I was. This isn't even that long ago. Yeah, the two lights did fire. You can see how this one fired brighter, and it's the one on this side. And this one didn't as much, but it gave you just enough shadow to not make it look like I'm Scarface. So for all these, like this one, I had to travel a little bit. It was not on base. This is somewhere else in like Gulfport or something, and so I had to drive down there, and I actually went through the class. I sat there for the whole class, for not the whole class, but like 1 or 2 days, and some of the demonstrations that they did, I was there. And so imagine that, but for 5 years of courses and classes and training, I was trained in a lot just by being there. And that doesn't give you a certificate or credentials, but you pick up a lot. And so this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but my experience in the Army as a photojournalist, once being an infantryman, was so vast. I have such a lens on things that, you couldn't get a civilian talking around me with some misperception, because I will stomp on it. I'll be like, that's not how it is. You think that's how it is, but that's not how it is. I will never speak on something I don't know about. But that view I had of the military for those 5 years, all over the place, gave me such a respect for other jobs that infantrymen don't usually have. We call them pogues, people other than grunts. But I stopped that, man, because I was a pogue. It was rare for me to spend a night in the field. I don't think I ever did as a photojournalist. It's an infantryman, I did a lot, but what a time, man. I make sure to communicate with this person. Hey, I want to get a picture of just you. I just interviewed you. I want to get something to accompany it. Look alive in front of this, and I justify it to them. I say, like, hey, it's going to look nice with this window light, because people in the Army want to look good. They don't want to look like crap, because they know this is going to go on the Facebook, and their buddies are going to jeer at them, or their next command is going to see that they look like crap. So you want to make sure they look good, because as much as it's a team sport as the Army is, it's also individual. Also, group photos like this, it is almost unavoidable sometimes, but you're going to have people, I think that's his natural face. It looks like he's half blinking. That's actually just what he looks like, I'm pretty sure. This is a rare case of nobody is really blinking. It's good. I like this. Not ideal that people would have all this stuff on, but look, we weren't thrilled about wearing masks. This mask is sweaty. She can barely breathe through that. But I wanted to show people that we're doing it. Look, if it sucks wearing a mask in Walmart, it sucks wearing a mask in this place in the South in the middle of summer, peak humidity. This photo is a result of active listening. What's up, big guy? My dog is going crazy. Hey, give me that Frisbee. Is someone here? Shouldn't be. Anyway, this photo is a result of literally listening and people being like, oh my God, you see the shot he made? And then me with the camera is listening and saying, I got to go get that. Now, when it's safe to go on the range, I'm pretty sure they were up there checking their rounds and their hits. So nobody's firing. Everyone's clear. And they walk up to the targets. I'm free to go ahead. I've cleared it with the people beforehand. So much communication goes into this. So this is the 448 MP company, I think. God, I hope they didn't mess that up. They were deploying, and so they were doing some pre-deploying training with this weapon system. And so this photo actually got huge. This is a photo of somebody who had a lot of family. And so I took this picture because, by contrast, they are a lot smaller than everyone else. They're just shorter. You can tell that in this photo. And because of that, everyone is so proud that she is in the military. They're like, our small family member. That does not mean. Now, if you've ever been in the military, you know that never means that somebody is lower in quality or anything, lower caliber or anything. I knew guys that were smaller than me my whole career. I've never not known someone who's smaller than me that can carry more weight. So this isn't to say that this person is lesser in stature, because they weren't. They were they had a lot of integrity, I could tell. So I had no problem taking their photo, but they're here like figuring out their mask. They're not turned to anyone. They're sitting there being like, I'm figuring this out. And so I wanted to show that, and it's clear in this photo. It just is, even without their face being shown, it's just clear with their posture that they are here to get this right, which is respectable to me. And so I took this picture with a 200 millimeter lens, the variable lens. And so I was at a distance. I took the side profile, and it's a good photo. And I was very happy to put it on, and it got so many reactions because of that family aspect, but also because, it's not only a picture of her, it's a picture of her in a gas mask, dude. How often do you get a picture of one of your family members doing gas mask training, actually going into a gas chamber? You don't. So this is a very special moment, and I'm glad to deliver that stuff. This is a photo of everyone looking at that's actually a wind flag. It looks like fire, but it's a windsock, sort of like showing the wind direction. But everyone looking at, even photographing this plane coming in, because we were on the end of a runway and the C-17s were coming in. It's pretty cool. If you take a picture like this of another unit stuff, make sure you contact the other unit's public affairs before you get clearance to post it, because they, this National Guard, Mississippi National Guard unit, is sort of the release authority on that. Especially air flights can be finicky, because sometimes a flight isn't supposed to be publicized, because our enemies can glean a lot from posting a picture of a flight. You can be like, hey, yesterday, imagine if you're a unit and you're doing kind of not super public flights. You're doing some operational flights. And in Korea, the aviation hub at Camp Humphreys, there's a giant airfield, and you see unmarked planes come in a lot. That's not a secret. But they do. And if you were to take pictures of those planes and then put them online with a timestamp, the enemy, whoever that may be, could glean a lot from that, especially if you're posting them in a pattern. And so you are unknowingly providing information to hostile forces. So you want to be careful of that stuff. This isn't as high stakes as that, but you just want to make sure that you get proper clearance to post before you do. So I got that for this, and I posted it. Photo of a guy outside the gas chamber. The reason this is a good photo is because this dude just got done getting his ass kicked in the gas chamber. Like, he got all the fumes and the crazy stuff, and he's smiling. It shows the resilience of these troops. I mean, the look on this guy's face is he's looking at everyone. It sort of just shows that really by itself you don't know what's happening, but clearly these guys are training. And they're happy. And so it's a good photo for the Army. Another photo, a better photo of the C-17. Oh, man, this thing is a beast. And this photo shows it. And I liked taking this photo. I didn't get a lot of chances to take a lot of aviation photos, but whenever I got the chance, I ate that up. So there I was. I like this photo because... look, females don't always get proper recognition in the Army, and we try really hard. But the Army tries really hard in a cheesy way. They'll have like, oh my god, this is the first female whatever. And they'll be like, congratulations. That almost detracts from the idea that, look, this shouldn't be treated as an exception, but rather, this is something we do every day. This soldier knows what she's doing. She's doing her job, and she's doing it well, and she does it day in, day out. And that's not a fucking oddity. That's something I'm showing here that nobody's batting an eye at. Nobody's looking at her clapping. She is paying attention to the briefing, or the AAR, the after action review, with a rifle on her shoulder. And I wanted to show that. I liked showing that a lot. She has a really just solid look on her face, and it was cool to take this photo. I had to take it quick because every time I raised my camera, people would look at me. I would go to take the picture, and they're like, and then as soon as my camera went on them, they would go, meh. And I'd be like, as soon as someone's looking in the camera, it is said that it becomes a snapshot. It becomes a staged photo, and that's not entirely untrue, because once someone looks at you, unless it's clear that they just looked at you like that, or they're like in the middle of something else, it looks like you staged it. It just does. This dude clearly is posing for this, because who looks like that? I didn't care, because again, it's this dude. These guys were about to deploy, and this was one of their last stops before they deployed. And so I wanted to show their families, like, hey, your family member's out here doing great things. And I got that chance to do that here. He is manning the crap out of that saw. Great job, dude. I like portraits of people who are doing their job. Portraits of people standing like this is fine. but portraits of people who are like in the middle of their job, it's cool beans. So this is a good photo for that. This training event, I was out there all day. I got sunburnt to hell. But so are these dudes. So you got to be out there. You can't show, don't show weakness to these people. They're out there busting their ass. And if you're going to come out there and expect something from them, expect them to stand for your photos or to put their gear on and you just came out, what an asshole. No, fucking be out there, sweat with them. Walk along with them. Do something. Don't interfere with the training because you're just a photographer. Don't forget that. But, don't be afraid to suffer. This is a dude getting his ass kicked. He's having his face pressed up against a mat. He's not actually getting his ass kicked. He's being detained in a training scenario with these MPs. But this was just, you can almost smell what he's smelling. This was 200 millimeters. I didn't want to get in the middle of it because he's being pinned down there on the mat. And so staying clear, but getting this photo indoors, actually, this was taken. You can tell by the sort of even lighting. Everyone had to wear masks still. So this is a photo of a dude inspecting a vehicle. Not a lot to glean from this photo. Clearly, he's inspecting a vehicle. But, it just is a photo. I just wanted to take pictures of this event. It's cool because it shows that I got out there. We're outdoors. He's doing his job. He's searching that vehicle for hazards, and it's not something I got to take pictures of a lot, so I wanted to include it. Gas cap is open. There's a lot being inferred in this photograph. It's not just a normal dude holding a flashlight. This guy's got a mirror down here. This guy, a lot going on. This is a portrait. Not a lot being shown here. You would think he's at an ECP, and I'm pretty sure he was a control point. And he's got riot control gear on. So as far as an environmental portrait, it's not too great. This really could have been taken tall ways, but I liked it this way. Now, you get distracted by the fact that there's like a fucking Corolla down here. And the Camp Shelby sign for Camp Bobcat. And, but, it's just a photo. Could have been better. But I took it, and it shows a dude. And he is in the world. That's all that shows. But whoever dude's family is, and it shows that they're wearing masks even through all of this. And it's hot. Now, this is a photo of that same person with a gas mask. I wanted to show this photo because, look. It's clear why, not only is there just the contrast, but like we pull our fucking weight in the Army, man. That's something I wanted to show. It's not just the people up front, but the people in back, the things you don't see. The dude in the back getting ready to grab someone's camelback and yank it back whenever someone tries to pull them in or whatever. Or, they grab a person. There's a tactic where they grab onto a person and then like a line of people behind that first riot person yanks them back, and so you close it back in, that hole created by pulling everyone back with the offender in tow, and that's what's happening here. A lot of riot shield stuff. Crazy. This dude's empty handgun. This was to show like, hey, this unit is out here, and that's all I wanted to show with that photo. It's a good like cover photo because it's like, hey, all of this stuff while you see what's happening is in the photo. It's not the focus. The focus is like, look, the 448 MP company, and that's basically what this is yelling. It's a little small. Maybe it'd be better if it was like this, but I put it like that because there's a lot more going on in the photo. Not the best photo to post because we were in the middle of some civil unrest in the United States where this was an actual issue. People were dying like this. Did I post it? Yeah. Did I know that it might stir some souls? Yeah. But it didn't, because our audience is very much like retirees and stuff and people who are on the side of these people anyway. and not so much this guy who was playing like a not a refugee, but like a detainee who had caused a ruckus, and so they take their precautions and they go crazy with the riot gear, and you can almost see the personality on these people's faces just by panning across, even without the eyes or the mouth. But it's not an angle you see often, so I chose it and I took it. It also showed that people from our unit were helping training. This is a cool portrait. I'm not going to focus too much on individual portraits because there's not much to say about them, and I don't want to ruin that person's privacy. Dogs, great dogs. I got the opportunity to take dog pictures because we volunteered with pet shelters quite a bit. And so I got the opportunity to go and take pictures of dog walking, which was amazing. Perk of this job. Dogs are funny. They move around a lot. You want to make sure you capture them when they're focused on something. Otherwise, they're doing this. And these were beautiful dogs from the local pet shelter. And so I got the express opportunity. Oh my gosh, amazing opportunity to take pictures of these guys. I mean, look at this guy. Look at that nose. Very handsome dogs. Each one of them with a personality of their own. So fun. Go out and do stuff like this, and you just got to take good pictures. Man, you got to get invited back to take more pictures. Because not only will these do well on social media, but they're so fun to take. Just a general photo of some smoke grenades. If you post this along with your thing, all you're showing really is that smoke grenades were happening. It doesn't tell a story really, but it shows part of the story. If you were to show 10 other photos of the training and this were part of them, people would know, wow, they threw smoke grenades on the ground. And that's pretty much what that does for this. So good as part of a group, on its own, a stock photo. These guys were working their asses off. This is the U.S. Army Best Warrior Competition, potentially the last of its kind. The Best Squad competition has taken over now, but I'm literally down there at chest level with this casualty, taking photos with a wide-angle lens. What am I at? 16 millimeters? It's pretty wide. Getting that dude's hand in the foreground to show what he's doing, and he's, packing a bandage or something. And I'm getting his exasperated look. These guys just got done dragging, carrying, lifting, everything in the field before they go and call a 9-line medevac for an actual helicopter to come. And this is all during training. And so they are working their butts off, and I wanted to show that. And you've got to run with them. Like, you've got to run ahead or something and be there because they're moving fast. And so I'm sitting here at this site. Not sitting here, but I think I was like a little bit to the left. And then when they got up there, I take a photo of them running up with the casualty in the foreground, always trying to tell that story, connecting the product, what that person is doing with them themselves and showing their interaction with that. You are photographing relationships between things. And so he is helping this casualty, and I'm showing that here. Same thing. It's a dog. It's clearly a dog. Hopefully. But I mean, look at the sweat in the face. Get people who look like they're exerting. Get ugly faces, because it shows what we do is ugly. And we come here not to play around. We come here and we mean business. And I wanted to show that. And we highlight units here. Show exactly what he's doing, his face. And so this is a pretty good all-around photo. The only thing it doesn't show very well is where he's at. Why he's there. It's just training as far as you know. This shows why he's there. It's a Best Warrior competition. But yeah, storytelling photos. This was just a cool photo of that person. Another cool photo of this person. We were struggling to get these all released by the U.S. Army. APAC is going through a lot at the time. Army Public Affairs Center. Because they had a sergeant major who wasn't doing the best. But was it sergeant major or a commander? I think it was a commander. It was a general. Yeah. But anyway, they were working with what seemed like a skeleton crew because it was very slow in getting these approved for the Army's biggest event of the year, or what we were told. So we didn't get a lot of photos approved out of this. But anyway, here's this dude waiting on his Black Hawk, and he looks back at like the OCT, and he's really getting that stuff going. It's amazing. I think it's cool. It's frozen in time. You know it's not. He's in midair. Everyone says you got to get that little bit of blur, and there is there, but I didn't really care for it right there. We always got some handsome devils in the Army, so just some guys doing hard work with a smile on their face and a rifle in their hands, waiting for a goddamn helicopter. So that's what that is. Same shit. Dude's pulling it. Not real great. You can't see him. You just see a dude with this dirty ass backpack. It's training. This person doesn't have headgear on or anything. You can tell it's not combat. Yeah, these were all just, why are these in my portfolio? It's interesting. Anyway, it shows to my employers that I was up there. I walked, if they've ever been near a helicopter like this, they know how strong that gust is. Look at this person struggling to keep their eye pro on. So here I am, photographing them all the way up to the helicopter, and then they go away. I sprint back here and get this framed photo with leading lines all the way up to the helicopter going blah, 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 blah. And it's doing great. And like I said, your exposure and everything, you're on manual, you know what it's like around you. That stuff is a given. You are ready to do that. You are worrying about composition, focus, and the subject. Everything else is a given. Should be. This is a photo that took me all night to get. I'm out here. It's like raining like crazy. I spent all night fiddling with my focus. I'm messing with... I'm like, fuck, how am I going to get a sharp photo in focus when I can't even see through my viewfinder to see anything? It's raining. The rain lifted for a second, and I went onto the firing line. I actually talked to the guys, and I was like, look, can I actually get up there? Because I know nobody can see anything right now. But is it okay if I stand right here and just take some photos? And he said, yeah. And so the safety I was talking to. And so I got down here. I'm at fucking 16 millimeters. So I'm not far from this dude. This guy's firing and I'm right there as the live fire. That's a tracer round bouncing off the earth or a berm going up. And it's showing. I mean, everyone knows what's happening here. Look, he's got this here. This is actually probably another round hitting as this round comes up. Perfect. It's got all this here contact. He shot so many fucking rounds. The soldier is here. A lot of post-production went into this photo. This was all black when I took this photo. Luckily, I took it in RAW like I do all my photos, and I boosted those shadows up. Because trust me, this is all ambient light. It was well into the night when this shit was happening. Shells happen. I mean, it just is a good photo. I'm very proud of this. I was out here all night and got maybe 2 or 3 good photos. This is one of them. Photos, super low light, hence it looks the way it does. I threw it black and white because otherwise it'd just be blue. It was super low light. This guy is walking on a road, and you might as well not really know what the fuck is going on. But a dude is walking with a rifle on a road. You know? It's obviously a ruck march, but like if it wasn't, would you know? Would you know if this wasn't a picture taken by somebody while this guy is like walking through some town somewhere that's not America or a city? And they're like, hey, U.S. Army soldier fucking after crash landing takes his shit and walks off. Would you know? No, you wouldn't. And so it's got a little bit of artistic value there. And so I took it. Oh, well, I took it because I had to, because we were out there and we needed to get these photos. But it was hard to get good photos in focus because even though you can see a lot in this photo, this is thrown up way much. Like this, the exposure on this is bumped way high. You could barely see these people in real life. I'm at ISO 12,800 at 1/30th of a second shutter speed at 2.8, 16 millimeters. I am wide the fuck open to get this photo. I'm walking with this guy to get him in focus, and I don't care about this shit. I want him in focus. He's barely in focus. This is probably the focal point around here, but there's so much grain that it's not really focused. So you got to push it sometimes. Sometimes you're in a van and they drop you off at fucking 4 a.m. and they say, I don't care what the light's like, you take the photos. And so you're out there in the dark. This is a photo of a guy, same thing. Still a pretty high ISO at 400. The light has come in though. The sun is out. It's rainy. And these dudes are, this guy had a great attitude the whole time. So luckily he looks great. And I framed it real nice out here at 200 millimeters. He's kind of far down the road, but you can tell it's a turn. He's been making his way and he's going uphill. I like this photograph. Same thing, a little bit closer, 70 millimeters. Thank God he had a good attitude. Some of these dudes didn't have a good attitude. Some of these guys looked at me and said, you're fucking me up. They go, you taking photos right now is taking me out of my dome. They literally said that. And I was like, okay, like, if a guy taking photos of you while you're ruck marching is fucking you up, maybe you can't ruck march this far. I don't care. I'm the photographer. Let me take the picture. Deal with it. I don't care. The guy was 18 series. Get away from me. I don't fucking care. I'm taking the picture. It's my job. You do yours. Now, he was probably very impassioned in that moment, but I didn't care as well as he didn't care about saying it, you know? We're all tired. Him more tired than me, but tired nonetheless. Anyway, cool picture. Guy doesn't have his shit on. This probably wouldn't make Big Army Facebook or whatever. He's got an empty mag right here. There's a lot of storytelling. He's been shooting for a second. It's rainy. There's literally raindrops in the photo. And it's just a good, balanced exposure picture. It's a little cold. I don't care. It was cold out there. Same thing. Dude is done. This is one of his last events of this Best Warrior competition, and he's kicking ass. And so I'm out there taking pictures of these guys. Just, you want to capture that. You want to capture their tiredness. You want to capture how hard they're working. You know, without making it look like they're compromising anything like weapon safety. That's maybe not how you hold a rifle during a ruck march, but was showing that he is pretty disheveled. The guy he's running on fumes. These guys were. And in that, we show the people who are kicking ass nevertheless. You know, people who are taking well-aimed shots with great discipline here. I mean, I definitely wanted to straighten this in post if it wasn't straight already, because it shows that rock-solid demeanor of our soldiers. You know, sending shells flying. Cuff sleeves, whatever, it's raining, he's soaked. Ear pro in nonetheless, maybe no eye pro, because the eye pro is kind of impossible at that point. It would have fogged up immediately. And this is the aftermath. These dudes are done. They've had their crazy watches on that they were told to wear to monitor the biometrics. And so, you know, it's a good aftermath photo. This is a different competition, not super in focus. It's pretty low light because he's moving. This is kind of better in focus. This guy is not. He's moving. Sitting here at 1/160th. He's moving pretty fast though. 70 millimeters at 0.4 or f4. Yeah, good photo. Shows hopefully that he's going to come take this, which he did. So in this photo, you know, he's exerting a lot. And so, you know, just getting photos of the guys, what we call them sucking. They are, they hurt. And so we want to get pictures of that. I mean, look at that. They are dying out here. And this was really hard. Look, the passion here. They've got the chase vehicle. It's just the two of them. And so they're out here kicking butt, road march, rifle, very army. This is another one of those ceremony photos. Again, we're how solemn it is. I later got pictures of all of these guys, so not just this dude. This is a special photo, you know. This is a retirement ceremony for these guys. So I want to show, like, hey man, they need some nice photos for the end of their 20 plus years service, and that's very special. So, so here we are. And this was one of the last things I photographed in the Army. It was some trials for canine officers, and they're validating their canines. These photos did better than any other post we ever made on our Facebook page, ever. The photos of the dogs. People love dogs. And I took such good photos of these great looking dogs. And they're very professional looking handlers. And the people who, God bless them, took the hits, that they gave us amazing analytics. And so these dogs were just working. And I'm telling you, I had to be quick on it. This was a culmination of everything I learned as a photographer. These dogs are fast. You had to expect what was going to happen, see the entire picture, and then jump into your camera and take those pictures. You had to focus quick. This was faster than anything I had taken pictures of because these dogs were moving. And to take good pictures, and super harsh light, so having to deal with the shadows and everything, crazy. So you really had to know what was going on. And I did good taking these pictures. There's way more pictures than this, but they're not in this video. Anyway, there's a sweet photo. Shows some nice stuff during a ceremony. Another picture of a dog. Just super sweet. There's something sweet going on. You know, you got to think in the social media mind and what's going to do well. And hey, this picture with this guy was going to do well. As well as this, you know, them doggies, just awesome. And also it shows the unit. It's a cool photo, well composed in my opinion, and so I really liked it. Awesome photos, some people. That's not for public, not super public release. Those were some soldiers I took pictures of at a military ball. Those are all released pictures, but I don't want to highlight them here because those are people, and I value their privacy. But this is a very solemn photo. I always try to take a photo like this at a military ball. This is for fallen soldiers. Everything on this table symbolizes something, and he's got to take a picture of it because it's important. That no matter what, no matter the revelry that happens at this military ball, that we are honoring the fallen. Why was that in there? Oh, to show low light with using flash. Anyway, this is a also, all of these photos are released. I released them all. I was the PAO for my unit, and I released them. So, yeah. None of them are compromising in any way. So, even though I'm like, oh no, I value these people's privacy, with the photos still on here, it doesn't mean anything. I could go into detail on those photos. I choose not to. But anyway, this is a guy, I'm blanking on his name right now. Big figurehead in the community for veterans, and connecting them to the public and making sure they get good schooling and benefits and whatever. Amazing man. Unveiling to us this facility that he works in now, that was just recently finished and built and everything, and it commemorates a lot of soldiers, and it's an absolutely fantastic resource for anyone in the area, especially veterans and cadets. So our soldiers got the chance to listen to him talk about it, give a tour guide, before we got some great learning inside the building. And so I like this picture. It doesn't show the whole story because it doesn't, you know, you could put a caption that says where he is, but it doesn't show it. But, you know, it's important. There are better photos than this. I don't know why I didn't choose them for this portfolio, but I chose this one. Mainly because I wanted to show that I was able to highlight and also highlight surroundings. I guess I could show that. They didn't really they knew their photos were being taken. I don't know if they knew they were going to be on the Facebook. Anyway, local softball team, some kids getting taught. Our soldier is really the focus here, but they came out from the USM Golden Eagles team to teach these kids. Great, heartwarming, not the best compositionally. There's like a lot of leading lines. This guy's way over here. Anyway, I think the last photo is this photo I took of a lieutenant colonel who wanted their professional photo done. I wanted to show that I'm able to do portraits. But anyway, awesome. Great deal. fantastic. What a great time it's been. If you have any questions, let me know. Anyway, I was in the Army. I was a photojournalist. Fuck 'em.